Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you ever so much for coming out this evening and joining us. I'd like to say a quick word about the three gentlemen that preceded me. Tim Brennan's been my campaign treasurer for some time, and a lot goes into these campaigns. A lot of paperwork, a lot of fundraising, a lot of asking people for money and signatures, and Tim did that very well. Thank you, sir. And we couldn't be here without him. Tim's a good friend and a good advisor. My colleague, who sat to my right for my last 3 years, who's been a tremendous influence on me. He's a wise man. He's someone that we're going to miss on City Council, Michael. And the city is better off because of your service. We thank you very much for it. And Mr. Donchez, Bob has had the, he'll always be Mr. Donchez, and I of course went to Central Catholic, I'm William Allen. But when we think about the... we'll just yell "we are" and agree on something. Anyway, Bob, when you kind of think back about how the Lehigh Valley has grown and changed, Bob's been a constant, going on 47 years of combined service between City Council and the school district. Some of it was simultaneous. I'm
glad you clarified.
Yes. and you think about the number of folks that Bob has touched in his life as a teacher at William Allen. And including two folks that you may have heard of, Representative Jennifer Mann and Congressman Charlie Dent, were both students of Bob. And if you think about how much influence one person can have in our community, Bob's a perfect example of it. So, Bob, I very much appreciate you making the trek across the river and joining us here today. There are the triumvirate of women, the three most important women of my life. And I'd be remiss if I didn't start by addressing them. First, Jennifer. Now, my wife, Jennifer. Now, I think everyone in the room knows Jen. Now, she's blushing. 4 years ago, blushing really well too. 4 years ago, I don't know if you remember this, but we had a really bad snowstorm. We announced candidacy here at Zandy's. My wife was 7 months pregnant with a daughter. 7 months pregnant with a daughter, so this is becoming the theme. We're trying to repopulate the Democratic Party in Allentown, one child at a time. But Jen, you've been tremendously helpful through the years, stuffing envelopes last night, picking up all the balloons that we see here today. We made her get off the cell phone while she was driving. Mike, Schlossberg, that's for you. And because she couldn't see out of her back window. And Jen, I love you. Thank you for everything. Our aforementioned 3.5-year-old daughter, who is not blushing. Hi, hon. Hi, Sarah. Ready to be big sister for the first time in the next 2 months. Things have been a lot of fun over the last 4 years. My mother, Georgette, who's the best campaign volunteer I ever had. If you live in Allentown 12-3, expect a knock on your door in the next couple of days. Mom will be bringing one of those aforementioned petitions around. And Mom, thank you for everything. And with my mom is my stepfather, Gary Bosler. And here at the front table, my in-laws, Jim and Jean Sarah, my sister-in-law, Janelle Melton, who's all been very helpful to me. I will, before the end of the announcement, well, I'll just do it right now. I have a number of candidates since Dan McCarthy's petition. I have a number of candidates signed Dan McCarthy's petition. Dan, that was for you. A number of folks, candidates that are here, and I'd like to introduce them all. I have to write something down. Running for Allentown School Board, and we'll just applaud at the end. Cece Gerlach and Joanne Jackson. Running for re-election to Allentown City Council, my colleague and friend Jeanette Eichenwald. Running for Lehigh County Commissioner, Jeff Brace is here, an Allentown resident. And Allison Ham is here for her mother, Gloria, excuse me. Scott Grimm, our coroner, is running for re-election. We've seen a lot of Scott over the last couple of days, and we'll touch on that a little bit later. Andrea Noggle, our great clerk of courts, is here. Wait, what's your new title? I'm sorry. Clerk of Judicial Records. I remember voting no on the amendment. That's Tom Sloniker, our county controller, is here. Our great sheriff, Ron Rossai, is with us today. Running for Lehigh County Judge, before mentioned Dan McCarthy. Running for Magisterial District Justice, Linda Minger up in Salisbury Township. Dave Helms Jr., who just walked in, running right here in Allentown, representing me and my wife and Sandy's here. And someone else, Tamar, where are you? Mikey, holding one of his two twins. Mike is, of course, president of Allentown City Council. Has been the best friend I could have asked for on council, an incredible leader for us. And Allentown's running for MDJ on the east side of Allentown, Catasauqua, Hanover Township. Earlier this evening, my colleagues Ray O'Connell were here and Mayor Pulaski, and I'd like to thank them all. For all the folks that are registered voters here in Lehigh County, there's somebody, Democrat or Republican, you can sign for. And before the end of the night, if you could please help these candidates out with helping them get on the ballot, it would be very much appreciated. Folks, I want to make a promise. I promised you over the last couple of days that I've been trying to write a speech, and frankly, I just couldn't do it. Didn't feel right. I mean, I know everybody in this room. I have stories about every single one of you here. And writing a speech just seemed silly. It seemed fake to me. It seemed artificial. So I'm going to do something no politician should do. And if any of you want to get out of here tonight, you'll know that we should never do this. And I'm just going to sort of have a conversation. Talk a little bit about Allentown. I think most people here know that I pride myself on being one of the city's loudest and most obnoxious cheerleaders that we have. Whether it's talking about why young folks should move into Allentown, why you should consider sending your children to the Allentown School District, and I say that as a Central Catholic alum. When it comes to talking about why you should locate your business here, I pride myself on the fact that I stick up for Allentown, and I know everybody in this room here does. And we do that for a reason. The city has a spirit about it. It's got a soul. It's got a heart. It's a real place where real people live. And at the very core of that, the very essence of our city are our neighborhoods. We have incredible neighborhoods here. And, you know, a number of folks are here from Old Allentown Preservation Association. I saw some folks earlier from Midway Manor. And you're never going to see two vastly different neighborhoods in Old Allentown and Midway Manor. And yet they're combined by a very simple fact. It's something very similar and common, and that's the residents of that neighborhood are good people, get up, go to work every day, come home, take care of their families, and they fight for their neighborhoods. And that's what sets Allentown apart. You know, our residents, your neighbors are your friends. I was at my next door neighbor's house for the Super Bowl. I'm going trick-or-treating. We had people giving us hot dogs so the parents had something to do while Sarah was out getting candy. And this is the community that we live in. And over the course of the last 3 years, Council, along with the administration, along with our neighborhood groups, have worked very hard to strengthen our neighborhoods. I wonder if anybody knows this. Well, if you read one of the obnoxious green papers on your table, you did. But Allentown now has one of the strongest anti-graffiti ordinances in Pennsylvania. We have an ordinance that I'm very proud to have written, that we worked on very hard, that tells drug dealers that if you're convicted of a drug offense in Allentown and you're a renter, you're out. We are kicking you out of your apartments. Which means if you live next door to somebody who's peddling drugs to our kids, and they get caught, and they get convicted, you don't have to live next door to them anymore. Allentown's not a place where we're going to tell drug dealers and bad tenants and slumlords and slum tenants that it's okay to live here. And that's groundbreaking legislation that's helped our neighborhoods, truly improved our quality of life. I'm very proud of that.